Ahoy hoy everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Disney Dining Show. I'm your host Craig Williams, and today I'm joined alongside by my great friends Rhino and Erica Resnick, and we're having lunch at Steakhouse 71 here at Disney's Contemporary Resort. Before we do that, I want to remind you this is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content and you want to support us, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money and you get the support of one of the awesome Dreams Unlimited Travel agents. So head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today. Okay, this is Rhino's first time eating out Steakhouse 71. I've been here plenty of times. Erica has too. This was featured on my most disappointing restaurants list, so we definitely needed to come back to do it. But then also Pete asked us because he had been hearing himself that it was getting bad reviews. I'm not sure for which meal, whether it's breakfast or dinner. We chose lunch because that's what was convenient for us for today's dine-in review. But yeah, he said, I'm hearing a lot of stuff, so I would go and do it myself, but he was afraid that if he did it, that they'd be like, oh, Pete's coming, so we have to make sure the meal's stellar. And he didn't want that involved, so he said, I'll send my 3 minions that no one knows or cares about. And that's how we ended up here. So I'm excited. I don't know what I'm gonna get today. I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm ready to try it out, hoping that my mind's changed a little bit from it. So let's head into Steakhouse 71. Yummy, yummy. Stealing that from you, Rhino.
To get us started for this lunch, this glorious day, we ordered 2 appetizers. Well, we got 3 appetizers, but I'm going to let Erica talk about hers since it's a safe and healthy one. Well, I don't know about healthy, but it's safe. So the 2 that Craig and I split were the bacon and eggs, the famous bacon and eggs. We felt like we had to get that or there'd be comments galore about it. And that is a maple lacquered pork belly, smoked cheese grits with the perfect egg. It is $15. And the other appetizer we got is the sea salt dusted potato barouche butter roasted garlic tomato spread. That was $12. Of the 2, I definitely liked the sea salt dusted potato brioche the best. It was like nice, it was salty, it was like this good pull apart bread. The butter was like super whipped and wonderful. I'm not in love with the tomato spread. I loved the garlic underneath because there's like cloves and cloves of garlic in here, which is wonderful because I feel like you can never have enough garlic. The tomato sauce for me on the top, the tomato spread, it tasted like just cold spaghetti sauce. So that was not my jam.
I'm really happy with how Rhino and I shared our appetizers. It actually eased a lot of feelings of being like, oh, I don't want to choose the wrong one. So I didn't necessarily want to eat the bacon and eggs by myself, but I also didn't want to just sit here and eat bread by myself. I feel like we got the best of both worlds. And then I stole an onion ring from Erica, and of all the onion rings that I've been eating on these reviews lately, that was one of the better ones. It wasn't undercooked, it wasn't overcooked, it was just right. I have to say the bread always takes me by surprise because I forget how good it is. I mean, yeah, it's just these little small rolls of brioche bread, and you think bread at a restaurant, why isn't it free? I mean, it's bread that's worth paying for. Like $12, yeah, it's a little crazy, but just the bread is so soft and warm, the salt on top, the whipped butter is so whipped that it just like, it feels like you're eating butter clouds, and I love it so much. Bacon and eggs, I've been a fan of for years and years and years, but I don't know, something about it, for me at least, the dish kind of died with the wave. I felt like the presentation was better back then when it was all like one cohesive unit versus this where it's your bacon on the one side, your pork belly on the one side, and the eggs on grits on the other, and the sauce that gets drizzled in the menu in the middle of it. I just feel like it's a little off. And the pork belly, while it might have been lacquered with maple, it didn't really have a sweetness to it. It didn't have even like, I was hoping for a little peppery flavor to it, something. It just tasted like pork belly that had nothing else going on with it. So it felt a little flat for me this time around, but I still think that when you have this dish, it's good, it's great. Ours today just wasn't necessarily the best, but the bread, I'll be dreaming about that bread for years.
I got the Steakhouse 71 onion rings. They are $10. And these are plant-based. There's no dairy in any of this. They're hand-breaded with a spicy ranch dipping sauce. And they were delicious. They were perfectly cooked. My pet peeve is when you bite into an onion ring and the whole onion just comes out. This was not the case. They were cooked perfectly, nice and crunchy. And I loved them. I thought they were a great appetizer.
For my entree, I went with the Stack Burger, which is a signature blend of beef, pork belly, American cheese, lemon aioli, red onion, house-made pickles on a brioche bun for $21. So it is a pricey cheeseburger. I will say the patty itself was very well cooked, and I did enjoy the house-made pickles and things like that. And so the pickles and the red onion are cut like paper thin. I felt like the bun was maybe like just a little stale, like maybe sat in the air a little bit too long, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really get any of the lemon aioli, and I felt like the red onions, which is insane to say this because I feel like red onions are such a strong flavor, were so lost because they were just like cut so thin, and the same with the pickles, so it really just was kind of like cheeseburger inside of this like kind of bun that was just like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't something that I've heard a lot of people since this place is open now for a while that it's basically like this is the best burger on property, and I don't think I would agree with that. I think a deluxe burger I've had better. There's places outside of the park that I think are a little better, so it was a little pricey for what it was. For my side with that, you could either have gotten a petite Caesar salad, Parmesan fries, or a pasta salad. I was going to do the pasta salad, but it comes with olives, and those are garbage. So I got the petite Caesar salad, which also I wasn't crazy about because I love it when they do it in the lettuce and you have to cut the lettuce. It makes me feel real fancy. That was fine. It was the croutons were stale too. So it was a lot of stale bread things on my plate for $21. And I just am not, so I haven't been wowed yet and I feel bad. And I'm like, but it wasn't bad to be like, this is terrible. It just was like not noteworthy.
For my entree, I got the vegetable Wellington, which is their plant-based option for the entrees. It comes with mushrooms, a lot of mushrooms, fire-roasted artichokes wrapped in a puff pastry with some Brussels sprouts and onions on the side. And I absolutely love this. If you hate mushrooms, please don't get this because it got to a point where the mushrooms were a little overwhelming, but to me, the way this stood out to me was because of the puff pastry. The puff pastries that made this a lot more enjoyable. It just added a different flavor to it, and I did keep that spicy dipping sauce from my onion rings, and that really leveled it up a lot for me. And this was $26. I will say the vegetables on the side, like the Brussels sprouts, the onions, and some of the tomatoes that were on there as well, were cooked really well and seasoned really well. So overall, the dish was really good all the way through. I just think the mushrooms are a lot. So if you like mushrooms only a little bit or you hate them, please don't get this. You will regret it.
Here is the problem with the lunch menu. There's technically only one steak on here, and I know we're at Steakhouse 71, so you might want to jump to that, but we will have to come back and review it for dinner. We just were available to do this for lunch, so we figured, why not? So I didn't want to limit it to the hanger steak. I didn't feel like that's a great representation of steak that they could have here. I ended up doing a different steak, also because Rhino wanted to do the stack burger. I let him do the stack burger. However, this crazy monster was going to do the turkey club, and I told him, all the people out there watching and listening to this would rip him apart if in back-to-back reviews he gets a chicken salad sandwich from Homecoming and then a turkey club from Steakhouse 71. So we avoided that. I almost thought about the prime rib sandwich because I do love prime rib too, shaved with the horseradish cream, all that. Like, that sounded good, but I wanted to try out the Salisbury steak. And this is served with garlic mashed potatoes, mushroom gravy, fried onions for $22. And Salisbury steak is one of those things that I feel like I probably have had it more for TV dinners than as like an entree that my family made. My mom loved making Swiss steak during the holidays, and I don't remember a lot of Salisbury steak, but we probably did. Either way, I love Salisbury steak. It is a guilty pleasure for me, and this one was really, really good. For people who haven't had it, don't know what it is, it's essentially a hamburger mixed with a meatloaf in a way. Like, it's not a thick and hearty steak. It is ground meat, but it's not like, it's a little bit of a lighter consistency than a meatloaf, but it's also not just like hamburger meat. It's somewhere right in the middle of there. It was wonderful. The mushroom gravy was taking care of all the flavors, so it didn't really need to be like over seasoned at all. The garlic mashed potatoes, they were plentiful and they were so delectable. They were just whipped and creamy. I really enjoyed it, and the fried onions did add for a lot of crisp to the dish. I was worried they'd be a little soggy, but not only did you get that fried onion flavor, but you also did get a texture difference from kind of the mushy mashed potatoes with mushy gravy and mushy Salisbury steak. I don't know how often I would come back here and go to that versus maybe the burger or that prime rib sandwich, or just getting like a salad on the appetizer menu, because it bums me out that they only give you the Caesar salad as a side with the burger now instead of the wedge salad. But I'd probably try the Salisbury steak again. If I was really craving a Salisbury steak, yeah, I'd go for it.
For dessert, I ordered the apple tart tatin, and it comes with caramelized Granny Smith apples, a puff pastry, and blackberry gelato for $8. And the first thing I want to comment on is how beautiful the presentation was when it was brought out to us. I was like, for $8, this beautiful presentation. I was blown away at that point. But overall, the dessert was really great. A lot of cinnamon in there, but I really enjoyed all the flavors. I did have an apple type of tart dessert at Citricos a few months back, and I would say it's pretty on par with that dessert. I loved that dessert, and I would put it there at the same level. But I did enjoy it. My overall experience with this, though, is that everything I did have, it was good, but I don't see myself rushing back here. If you asked me to eat somewhere else on the monorail line, I would probably pick something other than this. I wouldn't even come here for something special, but I'm glad that we came, because I did enjoy what I got, but it's not something that I would say I'm coming back tomorrow to get the same thing. But overall, I would say it's okay. It's okay. It was good. I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
I'd like to take the time to wrap up over here, and I did have a bite of Erica's apple tart tartan, which I actually thought was pretty tasty. I really enjoyed the blackberry gelato that it came with. It was pretty good. For $8, I feel like that thing was definitely worth it. So overall with this meal, though, I am not gonna lie, I feel less than impressed. I think maybe if I'd gotten here before the hype, I'd feel differently. I don't know if I would. I'm not gonna lie to you. We'll see. I know that we came for lunch, and there are different options. There's steaks on the menu for dinner. So I wouldn't not come back, but I'm not going to be running to come back, I feel like. Like, there wasn't anything that was really, like, bad, but there was just nothing that wowed me, I guess. And I don't know. Maybe not every restaurant has to wow you, but for, like, the prices and where it's located, I feel like it should, right? So I don't know. I'd give it another shot, but yeah, that's just how I feel. I just feel like very middle of the road. 6.5 out of 10.
Thinking a lot about this meal, and while I may have said that Steakhouse 71 was a restaurant disappointing me, I think I kind of tailor-made my selections today, so I walked away here not disappointed, and that's not a bad thing. I feel like it's interesting hearing Rhino's perspective, because he just made a couple slight changes, by getting the burger that I would have got, and then we split the bacon and eggs, which we weren't both wild about, but, I think it might have been him getting the burger that was what kind of changed it all. But for me, the Salisbury steak hit the spot. The bread, I will still talk about that forever. I didn't get any of the dessert. I only had one of the blackberries off of Erica's plate, just because, just gonna say it, I had salt and straw this morning for breakfast, and I was not in the mood for dessert now for lunch, but also their dessert menu here is like so small. Like there's only the 4 options, a chocolate cake and creme brulee, and then the ambrosia salad dessert. Like it's just, there wasn't anything that jumped out to me anyway, so it wasn't worth it for this one. Maybe when we come back eventually and do a dinner review here, but also, we might come back for lunch and do some steaks because there is the option to get a couple of the steaks on the lunch menu, even though it's not advertised directly on there. But we do have to come back for dinner, and we have to come back for breakfast too, because I don't remember the last time I've had breakfast here. And well, we know Rhino hasn't had it because this was his first time stepping foot in here. What about you? You've been here for breakfast?
No, never.
Nope, never for her. But so we'll have to do breakfast again too, because this was motivated by Pete wanting us to check it out, and also to make sure Rhino got the chance to have it. And I don't know where I stand on all of it. I will say, for the amount that we ordered for a lunch, I still feel like the price wasn't that bad. We got the 3 appetizers, 3 entrees, and then 1 dessert, and the total after tip, when it was all said and done, was $137. So that's not like aggressive. And yeah, like a $20 burger is always gonna feel a little rough, as well as any entree for like $20. But again, we're at Disney, we're used to this. I don't know why we talk about it in every single review. It's what the prices are here. It's what we have to deal with. So I think it's overall fair. But I'm not necessarily sold on this place still from my disappointing feeling from it. But I'm warming up to it a little bit more, and we'll just have to see how I feel the next time we come back here. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Disney Dining Show. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit the thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Leave comments, questions, and video suggestions in the comments section. If you are listening to this, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you can leave us a positive rating and review, please take the time to do that as well. And if you want to support us more, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Get a free no-obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. But that's going to do it for us here at Steakhouse 71. We'll see you again real soon with another Disney dining review. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay hungry.
Yummy, yummy.